Hello there and welcome. My name is Greatman Ayilara, and this is the Seekers platform where we'll seek simply to know and cross examine every single thing before we get into our desirable conclusion. Today, we will conclude on this particular series the topic on the art and beauty of rebellion. The art and beauty of rebellion. This is what I wanted to know, that rebellion is one of the greatest and the most beautiful gift that was part of the formation of the wiring of mankind. And over the time, in our previous series, I've taken time to describe to us what rebellion means on a deeper level. You can kindly do yourself a lot of good by going to Great One Aguilera on YouTube to view the first episode of this particular series. We also took a little bit step backward to reminisce on what is beautiful about rebellion. And I mentioned pretty well on if rebellion is a human nature, and conclusively, we came into the agreement that rebellion is part of human nature through the instrument of evolution and re-evolution. Evolution and re-evolution, where we are pushed from one point to another in search for betterment or for a better life. I mentioned that our civilization today is as a result of rebellion. And rebellion, if you took a look at it very well, you realize that it is simply evolution, movement from one point to the other. Now, previously, also in our second episode, we started off by saying that why are humans subjugated when they can rebel? If human being can be a rebel or aim for a better position or do well or do better, why do we feel subjugated or why do we submit ourselves to be ruled by other people? Now, I also took my time to explain how rebellion can start, how it requires just one man for the whole country, the whole nation to stand up for their right and aim for a better future. Now, I always bring about this particular pictorial example to you on what rebellion really means. This particular pictorial example, that man there using the cane, the instrument of whip and a cane to subjugate everybody, put them under subjection. And I said, this man could be your spiritual leader, it could be your pastor, it could be your imam, it could be your herbalist, it could be your voodoo agent, it could be your politician, it could also be your husband at home. This man could be your teacher in school, it could be your boss, it could be your HR. This particular man could be your friend, trying to recruit you to believe in them and see life from their own perspective. And to cap it all, I said this man could actually be God, who push his own idea and impose his own will on others with that singular word or statement, trust and obey. And I said, it only takes one man to stand up, withholding nothing, not minding what is going to lose or what is going down, reconciling with death so that he can really live to save the rest of them. And I also took you back to tell you that the word called Nazarene or Messiah or Christ or a Savior or the appointed or the anointed one is the same word that we can also use by saying one is a rebel. Because being a rebel requires you to put your life in line for a cause that so many majority and vast number of people are going to be a partaker of. And it is likely you lose your life. But what is the essence of a life that you live so long in a state of slavery where you can not truly be human and you cannot truly be divine? So I said, the moment you look at death in the face and you say, do your worst, that particular time, you begin to reconcile yourself back to life. Even though you might not live so long or for a longer time, you will know that you can maximize life within a couple of years, months, even hours by relishing or even releasing yourself to be a butterfly. So the moment we know that this caterpillar is going to bloom or blossom into a butterfly, we start victimizing, terrorizing, and stigmatizing or labeling that caterpillar, calling it a rebel, calling it anti this, anti that, and all of those things. But while the caterpillar is struggling with this fear of the unknown, the caterpillar do not know or doesn't know that we are the ones scared of it, because we could see the future from the present. So we knew if you successfully blossom from being a caterpillar into becoming a butterfly, you can dictate your own freedom. You can choose to go into the bush. You can choose to ride on the wing of the air. You can be so colorful, and you can bring pleasantness into the life of people. And we are scared of you getting off this hook, moving yourself out of this chain, and also being a free person. So what we use is we use the instrument of stigmatization to label you, to call you down, and to suppress you. So the beauty of rebellion is if you decide to be who you are and are ready to be called what you are. So if you are not ready to be called what you are, do not do what you do. And one of the most fantastic people on the planet Earth today are those who are unapologetic about who they are, embracing what they are. And this is what happened in the second line of the picture. You realize that one or two people will listen to you. One or two people will choose also to leave the crowd and follow the path you are following. Now, don't assume that people are slaves by choice. Don't assume that they are convenient or they are comfortable being a slave. They are only looking for someone to show them how not to be a slave. Now, when you know that your own liberation, your demand for evolution or re-evolution, your demand for freedom, or you living the life that you have painted for people can be a freedom offer for others, when you realize that your life is going to be an illumination for those in darkness, you will do more. Now, most people who are rebellious are not rebellious because of what they want to put on their own table, but because of others. Now, to be a perfect rebel, you must look beyond your own selfish gain. A perfect rebel look beyond his or her own selfish gain, his or her own immediate pleasure, his or her own temporary glory, to look at, okay, even if I die, whatever I start, can these people keep it up? Now, I don't want you to put time frame on the fact that you will get freedom someday. Sometimes the freedom you started might not be acquired or be attained until you are dead. Now, am I saying be a martyr or just go and become a hero? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that start something beautiful in life that those who come after you will be able to step on it and build on it. So we could never say how many times it took all the rest of these people to stand up from their state of slavery and also put the man who was once their master into subjection. But this is one thing we are certain of. Somebody decided to speak up, and that person should not be called a mentor, a role model, whatever. Let's call a spade a spade. Whoever starts something unique first is called a rebel. So, what kind of a rebel are you? What kind of a rebel are you? What cause are you living your life for? What is it that you are ready to really die for? So we conclude on this particular episode by going into this particular subtitle. We said, how can we reduce the cost of rebellion? How can we reduce the cost of rebellion? Surely, if you must be very, very objective and open-minded, you will realize that so far so good in the history of mankind, there has never been a rebellion that did not come at the cost of bloodshed or the life of people. Everywhere there is rebellion, people die, blood are shed, properties are looted, destroyed, society are deformed. People need to practically start civilization over and over again, and the way rebellion started. And that's the reason why it is very difficult for most people in this day to start something new, because they cannot bear the cost of being the first to do this, of being a disruptor in a society, of being the one who say no, enough is enough. But I'm saying, are we totally going to have rebellion staged at the cost of nothing? Am I saying to you that it's going to be very free for you to set yourself free, either from the old of religion, from your pastor, from your imam, from your sheikh and the rest of them, or from the old of politics? Is that what I'm telling you? Am I saying to you today that it's going to be easy for you to get off that particular marriage that is snuffing life out of you and giving you so many nightmares, and you know your husband is coming home and your heartbeat is raging? Is that what I'm saying? I'm not saying that. Am I telling you practically that it's easy to stand alone? I tell you it's not easy. It's not easy. So when we come to the realization that it is not easy, even up to the point of knowing that we could lose our life in the process of rebelling, becoming a rebel against a malfunctioning or defunct system, how can we reduce the cost of this rebellion? Now, I once taught a series or a particular topic. I called it Evolution of Action. You can do well to find it on my Instagram, on my YouTube page, Great Man Aguilar on YouTube, the evolution of action. So I said, first, when you know that the system you find yourself in is cheating you, is hiding something from you, it's not delivering on promises, or it is a total fluke and it is not what it presents itself to be, either religious system, political system, marital system, educational system, employment system, it is normal for everybody to be angry. The first step is to be angry, because without the emotion of anger, a very beautiful emotion of anger, you cannot get anything done. As destructive as rage, anger could be, it is very necessary for you to move from one point to the other. That is why the plants are sprouting up from the ground. Anger against the status quo. That is why a child is coming forth from the womb. Anger against the confinement. Every civilization we have today, improvement, technological advancement we have today, is an anger moment from what it used to be to what it is meant to be. So you might consider people who have this anger issue as abnormal people. We can only manage anger or apply it to the right cause. We cannot eradicate anger as a nature of man. As a matter of fact, if you find someone who is not angry, be scared of them. They are the most destructive people. They give you no warning before they strike. So this reduction of the cost of rebellion, what I'm saying is the evolution of action is going to be able to lead us there. The first step is to realize that where you are is not where you are meant to be. Because until you know you are crazy or you are mad, you will never seek for healing. And there's another that says that the moment you know you are wrong, you are already right. The moment you realize that you are the wrong one in this society, you are the wrong one in this place, you have become right. Now, realization. When you realize, I cannot vouch for you that you will not misbehave in the process of anger. When you realize that the white they said is white to you has been black all the while, I cannot guarantee you that you will not be angry. But it is sheer immaturity for you to demand re-evolution with the emotion of anger. I'm going to say that again. Remember, I told you that mankind came into existence through the means of evolution. The universe has been evolving from one state to the other and all that. We can see evolution in our plain life right now. Re-evolution is when evolution stops happening. When there is no advancement anymore. When the promises you made to me is not what you are delivering. When evolution stops, evolution is, let's say evolution is the same as change or transformation or improvement. What I need to do is to reenact the evolution. Re-evolution means reenactment of evolution, to remind you that this was not your plan for me. That is called revolution. In reminding you that this was not your plan for me, what should I do? Should I damage things? Should I be sporadic in my reaction? Should there be outrage? Should there be no? The singular instrument of communication can solve the greatest war on earth than violence. Unfortunately, this thing that looks so simple is the most difficult thing for mankind in our relationship, communication. In our place of work, communication. A very good man could be your ruler, while he thinks that is your leader. You know, there's a difference between being a leader and being a ruler. A very good man who have a very good intention towards you could be your ruler, could be perceived as a ruler. Meanwhile, in his own mind, he's just a leader because he lacks communication skill. A very good husband could be a terror in the home, whereas he thinks that he's doing all his best to make life worth living, but he has become a terror because of lack of communication. So the moment you see error in the system you find yourself, either religious system or whatever it is, instead of you to go with war, with rage, and all these violent things, what you need to do is to work on your communication skill, to dialogue. If mankind could accept the gift of dialoguing and communication, there will not be war in our world today. So it is normal for you to be angry. Yeah, you have been taken for granted. The second thing is, what I perceive will happen to you is that you will secede. There's going to be a secession. Remember that when you are angry, in order to justify your anger, you want to hold the system, you want to reform the system. A corrupt system that has no integrity in its foundation do not need reformation. It needs absolute deformation. Let's scrap it. A corrupt system does not need reformation. A corrupt system needs abandoning. But most times in the evolution of action, when we get angry, we want to reform what is defunct. We want to reform what is not real. We want to reform what is not worth our energy. And the more we try reformation, the more angry we become. So when we try reformation and it is not working, the next evolution of action is to secede. So when you secede, that is a moment of separating yourself. In other words, they call it rehabilitation. When you are rehabilitated, you are given a space. There is a social, mental, and outright distancing between what you think is wrong and who you are. So if it is a disease, pandemic, epidemic, bad relationship, bad governance, and all that, the first thing most times is to secede from it. Mind you, secession is a treasonable felony in every aspect and field of life, because your slave masters do not want you free. A slave master knows that knowledge is acquired by reading. Power is acquired by crowd. Knowledge is not power. A slave master knows that. Only a fool, a civil person who is simple-minded, think that knowledge is power. You can be knowledgeable if you don't have power. There's no way your knowledge can transform the society. Knowledge can give you light, and it's going to be a local light. It's not going to be a global light. Until you have power, there is no globalization of your knowledge. So knowledge is knowledge. Power is power. Knowledge is gotten from information. Power is gotten from people, crowd. And for all my researches over the years, those who are powerful are presumed or assumed to be knowledgeable. People who are powerful are presumed or being assumed by the society to be knowledgeable, which is wrong. So the power of a king lies in the people that bows to him. The supernatural ability, the divinity of a god lies in the people that worship it. The moment you start worshiping God, you start becoming almighty. The terror of your spouse lies in if you have agreed to allow them to keep abusing you. And there's only one power your employer have over you. It is that employment. When you sack him or you sack yourself, your boss stop being the ruler of your life. But if you are a good person and they can see the future in you to be better, they will not allow you go. They will find every word, either by force or by love, to keep you bound. Secession comes. Now, from secession, you are operating from outside now. From outside, being a deserter, someone who has left the system because you could not you were first angry after realizing you want to reform, it's not working, then you secede now. From secession, there is possible you now begin to launch attack. Now remember, attack was never part of your plan before. You will now begin. Why I'm giving you this evolution of action is to see how best you can do it. You will now begin to launch attack. Now, at that moment you are launching attack, there is possibility that hatred is now being found in you. Bitterness is now being found in you. You are losing out on something. It is costing you a lot. It is costing you a lot. It is costing you money, it's costing you health, it's costing you family, it's costing you a lot. So if you have to launch attack on things that is not holding water, you should know that you are not being cost effective in approaching rebellion. So the next stage of evolution of your action is to now say, let them go to whatever they want to go to. I will use the knowledge I've acquired to empower myself. I will use what I've discovered so far to make me a better person. At that time, what you do is to put on the candle in you. You see, all this while, you were struggling to be part of their light, which is darkness. But now, when you realize that it's going to be too costly for you to launch attack, it's going to be too costly for you to reform, what you do now is you leave them with the speck in their eyes. You begin to cater for the log of wood in your own eyes. You put on your candle, you switch on your light, and this is one thing. If what you have discovered is the truth, when you put on your light, people will come to the horizon. Remember that all this while, what you have been doing had no effect on your ruler, on the system, on your pastor, on your politician. As a matter of fact, they will victimize you and appear to be the victim here. But the moment you say, I have no time for your nonsense anymore, I will face myself, that is where you become the real terror to their gimmicks. Because they know that what makes them powerful, which are the people, they will lose it. Why? Because you have lit up your own candle. And the reason why people stayed with them was because people are looking for light. So when people discover that the light they are looking for or have seen so far is darkness, people's faithfulness is not, people are not loyal. Nobody was born loyal. People reach out to wherever they get what they want. So when you are the one giving them what they want, they come to you. Now, I must beg you here, in this process of rebellion, make sure whatever you are giving to them, when they sit back, relax, they can enjoy it. And when they enjoy it, make sure it's something transgenerational, and make sure that it is something that can be proven to be true even when you are dead. Because if you spend your life giving them flattery, giving them a better lie than the oppressor, when they discover, the passion with which they will hate you will be more than the passion with which they love you. And bear in mind that people don't like the truth. So when you are a rebel, don't look for crowd. When you are a rebel, your aim should not be looking for crowd. You must be willing to stand alone. But stand alone enough to be an household commodity. Stand alone enough to be an essential part of your life. Those are the time that you have to mark with the universe. If you are serious, if you are really dedicated, those are you. The moment the universe used to equate, okay, this person is worthy of this cause, let's give it to him. Now, in your evolution of action, this is what you realize the moment you lit up your candle. You begin to flourish. Now, the negative emotion is eradicated now. But don't you forget that when anger, hatred, bitterness are present in you, your communication skill will be poor. And there's no way you can reach out to the mind, the marrow, the bone, and the innermost part of people if you don't have communication skill. Now, there is two things I want you to know. There is a difference between them listening to you as an entertainer and listening to you as a change maker. You see, sometimes you will see that those who entertain tickle the fancy of people. They get more viewing, more crowd, more people following them than those who tell them the truth. So you now need to now choose what you have for. Or is it not better for you to have little people on your side who are transgenerational, who are very valid and valuable, who are people of integrity, who have values in them, than for you to have crowd that will in no time in the nearest future come to hate you, because they will do everything to wipe away your history, your effort from the sand of time. So what kind of a rebel are you going to be? Remember that the major currency of rebellion, successful rebellion, is communication. Try all your best. And I don't assure you that your taskmaster, slave master, will listen to you at a go. No, it is not easy for them also to let you go or to let the people go. Do not think they will let them go at once. As long as it takes you, make sure you keep building up your communication skill, that if your oppressor have not heard from you in a day, they feel they are missing out on something. You must, as a person who has discovered that you are your own God, live your life in such a way that even the sand misses you when you don't step on it. The air misses you when you don't breathe it in. The water misses you when you don't drink it. That everything misses you when you are not there. Even your enemy be at peace with you, not because God loves you or because your way pleases God, but because you have trained your divine ability to that point where you can carry every single person along. Even your oppressor will fight for your attention. They will lobby to hear you. So I don't know how many years it's going to take you to keep communicating, to keep talking about this truth over and over again, rebelling against the system that does not work. But whatever you do, ensure that you prune your communication skill, because without communication, there will be bloodshed. I do not say there won't be bloodshed in rebellion, but I'm saying it will cost you something. It doesn't have to cost you the essence of that change. Build your communication skill. Speak in a manner that even those you are against will have the God to listen to you. And always call a spade a spade. If a man is a thief, do not call them a robber. Call them a thief. With a very balanced emotion. If a man is foolish, call them a fool without being arrogant. There's a way you can tell a man that he should go to hell without him even feeling offended, and he will go to hell. Communication skill. Are you deploying it in your home, your relationship, your marriage, your workplace, wherever it is? I've seen leaders who are tyrants, but their countrymen can die for them because of communication skill. How many of us know when to increase our pitch, our octave, gesticulate? How many of us even know how to put space between our words? Do you speak to people according to your own way of understanding things, or you speak to them because you know this is the best way they will understand it? Because I tell you, you can also get the weak point of your enemy. Your oppressor can listen to you the moment you know how to communicate with them. And the moment your oppressor begins to reason with you, freedom is at hand. Freedom is at hand. So, lastly, we speak about, at the end of the day, when we eventually have this rebellion in place and we have new leader who carries people along, how can we ensure that rebel leaders do not become a tyrant? How can we ensure that rebel leaders don't become a tyrant? Because that's most of the things that happen all life. You first start as a rebel, and then you become a leader. Then you turn back into becoming a tyrant. And in the camp of a tyrant, another rebel come up. So the vicious cycle of rebel, rebelling, leading, tyranny keep going on and creating redundancy in the activity of the planet Earth. Instead of mankind to improve now, they begin to regress. How can we ensure that rebel leaders do not become a tyrant? It is by not throwing away your confidence. It is by not throwing away your confidence. You see, the moment you identify with a cause or someone who is doing something or going the same direction as you, do not ever allow that person to have 100% say over you. Always checkmate them. Checkmate them. Now, there must be institution or system in place to checkmate even the one who owns the vision. Because without control, without error trapping, mankind is capable of becoming a beast. But unfortunately, mankind easily subject themselves to slavery while coming out of one. People are looking for who to worship. That is the problem. People are always looking for who to follow. If all we have said so far about the art and beauty of rebellion is inside every single one of us, you realize that we will not need someone to tell us what is right before we get it done. The nature of irresponsibility in mankind often makes us submit our common sense to the feet of another person because we are too lazy to do what is necessary. We want those who will do for us. We are not ready to do for others. So when the leader sees that I'm the one who does this, I'm the one who does that, I go here and all that, he would also want to be rewarded in proportion to his effort. So when you allow him to carry all the battle, all the load, he will take all the glory. While identifying with a cause, are you putting in your own battles? While supporting someone's vision that looks like yours, are you also playing your own role? Are you coming in with the mentality of a stakeholder, or you are coming in with the mentality of do it for me? So it is possible for you to lose your self-esteem because you identify with someone who is doing something spectacular. Know that if they don't do it, they are replaceable. Do not ever see anyone as indispensable in life. If they don't do it, someone else will. And it's because they are doing it that you are not doing it. But the fact that they started it first does not mean they know everything about it. Never you give your leader a breathing space or give them too much comfort to the point where they begin to demand you to worship them. And this is not what you do when they have attained power. Establish it while they are growing. So if you are going to be part of this person's vision, this person's dream, make sure you put in your own investment when they are still little. I will go back to not despising the days of the little beginning. And you don't have to put in little investment because it's starting little. Put in big investment even if it's starting little. When it's blossoming and it's yielding, you will be a stakeholder. But the mentality of do it for me. In Africa, women want men to sponsor them, put roof over their table, cater for them 100%, buy everything for them, but they don't want men to rule them. That's madness. You are confusing. You are a confused being. If you want a home where it's going to be 50-50 when it comes to respect and adoration and all that, bring your own 52. In politics in Africa, we want government who will do the magic wonder and perform all the miracles. We are not doing our own bit. Have you even ever bothered to realize that when you become a grassroots developer, without criticizing the government, But doing your own bit in your society, in wherever you are found, whenever government need the attention of those people, they will come to you. Have you ever bothered to realize that you are also a government on your own? Have you lived your life in such a way that when you call 1,000 people today, you will have more than 10,000 listening and ready to help you out in whatever it is you want? How about your integrity? You are focused on the government. The government is corrupt, we agree. But what about your integrity? Do an exercise today. Go to your social media. Request for a little change for someone else. Be truthful. Request for a little change. Say, I want this person needs help. Can we please help them? The money will be in my care. I will administer it. Let's see how much people trust you. Have you built up your own self-esteem, your own value to that point whereby people can trust you without even knowing you? But you don't have that kind of social trust. But you are quick to open your mouth and abuse the government. You castigate, you chastise the government for being corrupt, but you have not put your own integrity to test also. So I'm saying that, have you ever bothered to think that if you hold a society or a village of 10,000 people bound, not by ruling them, but by helping them, showing them the way to go, being responsible for them, when the government need to have access to that village, they will come to you before they get to the villagers. Have you ever bothered that? So what course are you taking up today? Because you are filled up with the mentality that someone must be my Messiah. Someone must come to do it for me. And that singular mentality of I need a Messiah, I want someone to come to my rescue, is the basis of all religion in the world today. Are you not looking for who will give you salvation? Aren't you looking for someone to die for you? So you found someone who said, I died for you, and you begin to worship them as God. No one can die for you. People die for their own dream and vision. Whoever you think died or was hung on the cross for you died because they are passionate about their own dream. They were not thinking about you when they were dying. If there is chance for them to escape the death, they will escape the death. If it is that easy, go and die for your child. Go die for someone today. Because people come together, they promise you enjoyment in afterlife. I tell you that when you kill other people, you have 42 virgins or 72 virgins and all those beautiful wine, mansions, and all of those things. You are ready to do anything. But if I tell you, can you build this mansion yourself so you can be the Lord and Savior of your own self? You feel it's too enormous for you to undertake as a task. So I plead to your mind today that to ensure that a rebel who is leader now does not become a tyrant, do not allow them to do everything for you. Refuse that mentality in your head and say, I will not allow someone else to do everything for me. I will only reach out for them to help me when I have tried all my best and I could not help me. This handicap mentality that you should be done for, this thing you call blessing is a curse. And they teach you in your church, they teach you in your mosque how to enter into other people's rest, how the wealth of the Gentiles will be yours. You are a thief. You are corrupt. You are a rogue. You are not fit to be the society of mankind. If what your prayer is, if what your faith is based on is that someone else will work and you should enter into their rest. This is how rebel leaders become tyrants. Because you want them to do everything. You want them to be the Lord and Savior of your life. So when they tell you to go and kill yourself, you don't have a choice. Because first you have subjected yourself to them. We have a lot of them in Africa now. In Nigeria, so many heroes coming up. So many political radical folks that young men are ready to submit their glory, their ability, their own innovation to the footstep of these people. I said, if you want a revolution, you can start in your own home. Start with your own soul. Start with your own body. You want something to change. What have you changed in your community? You want a national change? What has changed? Do they know you in your village? What can your family members say about you? So many movements in the world today. Men becoming God all of a sudden because people are not willing to step into that situation, taking responsibility, and also becoming their divine reality. No one can make himself a leader except he or she has the support of men. And I'm saying that nobody needs men or crowd to make a change. Only you need to face your own corner. Be responsible in your own society. In your immediate location, wherever you find yourself, be responsible there. When we look for your CV, your resume, in wherever you stay, let it be good. Let it be good. And for the followers also. Most times it's not the superiority complex or racial, whatever it is, of the leader. It is the stupidity and the foolishness of the followers. Followers make bad tyrants if you don't call them to order. The culture of elders are always right. Because of if I have more people, no one else can approach me or antagonize me. We need to stop them. This is how we can stop a rebel leader from becoming a tyrant. You must push them, put them under check and balancing. Check and balancing. So if anybody is starting a course of vision and you identify with it, if their plan is not to be checkmate by an outsider, that's not a worthy cause. That is another slavery in disguise. So whenever I see politics or political parties taking power and they are too scared to appoint opposition party into places of office, I said this is a messy political party. This is a messy regime. Nothing stops me from appointing those who are from my rivalry political party into my place because they will check and balance everything. And if all we submit to is the institution and the law, not the person, you can't dare, even if you're an opposition party member, mess up the administration on ground because we are accountable to the law, not to man. So I have nothing to fear. The law that governs the opposition party should govern me also. But for me to know that this is not nepotism, this is not a family business, I need an external body to be part of my governance. That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. But all this realistic situation, can we make it a fulfillment? Can we make it manifestation? And I say to you today, you don't need everybody to make a change. Sometimes your change does not mean that you are on the street. Sometimes your little change could be in just writing something, talking about something. A lady was mocking me the other day, telling me that you come online virtually every single day. Every single day you come online. You speak about spectacular things. I marvel at your wisdom. I don't know where you get them from. I wish I can trade position with you. Whenever I'm online, the least number of people that comes to listen to me are 1,500 people. But I know I'm just having fun. I just speak rubbish to them and they just share it here and comment. We just have fun. I said, but whenever I hold my program and I come back to listen to whatever it is you are saying, because you transform my life, you address the core issue in my life. But I know I can't even begin to reason the way you reason. We talk about sex there, we talk about cheating there, we just gossip about people, we talk about news and all of those things, and people come there, say, I think you could give up this thing. These people don't appreciate you, leave them alone. And I said, this is not a cloud chasing. This is not about popularity. This for me is not about who listen or not. Up to today, I have a man I listen to almost every day, and it marvels me that this man was saying what he was saying way back 1960, 1970, early 1980s. But because it was recorded, it's making meaning to my life now. Krishnamurti is blessing my soul now, reasoning beyond if you are not intelligent, you cannot reason along with Krishnamurti. He's long dead. But the things he recorded decades ago, years upon years ago, is blessing my life. I said, this is not about if you listen now, this is not about if you change now, this is not about you. This is about someone in the future who will become a leader without bias, without nepotism, that will stumble on this thing I say, and every single word will resonate with him, and it will help him to form policy, to create policy that will be helpful for mankind. My gaze is on the age of the Aquarius. What I do because I'm going to die before they come to pass. And I must do as much as I can so that when I'm gone, I can still be alive. It's a rebellion, something different. What is the motivation? Is it instant gratification? Is it the massaging of the ego? Is it the temporary fame and all that? Is it the money? If the determinant of your rebellion is on things that can change, or physical things that you can really relish on now, you have failed in your mission. You have failed in your mission. If what is propelling you or motivating you to rebel against an institution is because you also want to be known, want to be heard, you need money, you need fame now. If the purpose of your rebellion is not because of humanity and to have a quality and upgraded mankind in thinking faculty and also in way of life, you have failed. And if you die in the course of it, you died for nothing. So I beseech you, young people, I beseech you, every single one that's going to come across this. The first resolution you need to make is, what is my motivation for rebelling? I tell you, if your motivation for rebelling can be expended between now and the next 20 years, you have failed on arrival. If what is pushing you and motivating you to do what you want to do is because you want to have a name, and then in the next 20 years, they won't remember you anymore, you have failed on arrival. Someone was saying, okay, as an ex-Muslim, ex-Christian and all that, blah, blah, what is wrong and all that? I said, there's going to be a time in the future, especially in the very coming soon age of the Aquarius, where Jesus will be a forgotten thing. People will be so awoken and so woke up. Muhammad will be a thing of the past. The idea of God, Allah, and the rest of them will be a mental case. So when you begin to say there is God in heaven, they treat you as someone who is insane. The society is going to change sporadically, so fast, drastically, taking a new turn that when you mention religion, you are a mad person. It's going to be the age of the critical thinkers, not the age of your pastors. We are in the age of the Pisces. The age of the Pisces, the age of the fish, where someone had to be the one who goes to the ocean. Fish come and give you. Age where you are fed. The age of the Pisces, the water itself will come to you. You will have your field of knowledge and you have access to share with you. It's going to be the age of the critical thinker, where those who never bother themselves about all this religion, that will still be relevant and will be changing lives for good. Now imagine myself in a new body coming again and listening to me, not recognizing that that was me. I imagine myself coming in a new body in my reincarnation age, maybe in the age of the Aquarius, stumbling on maybe whatever platform that is reigning there, but because of this recording, listening to myself and having this thing they call deja vu and saying, I've seen this somewhere, I've heard this somewhere, not knowing I was the one, because I might not recognize myself that, but I will resonate with me. So I'm saying, pick up a worthy cause for you to fight for. Rebellion is an art. It's beautiful. It is service to mankind. Strictly service to mankind. You are a saver of life. You are a bringer of salvation when you can know and master the art of rebellion. And the beauty in it, only you cannot expend it. My name is Greatman Ayilara. You can subscribe to all my social media at the Greatman Ayilara on Facebook and also on the Instagram. And if you are yet to be one of my subscribers on the YouTube channel, go to YouTube channel right away, type in Greatman Ayilara, press the subscribe button and also notification, note for all, so that when we have video and knowledge to share, we'll be together. You want to wonder, how does he get to this spot and all that? I'm a seeker. I seek the truth. I don't take things from the surface. And there are so many like minds like myself who also bless my own self every time with their own discovery. Go to Telegram right now with the information below right now. It's at t.me/1 million seekers. We hope to raise 1 million seekers in our lifetime before we exit this planet. We want to raise people whom you cannot bamboozle with your abracadabra, people whose life is not governed by just one book, when there are so many millions of books for them to read from. And if you have any at all, a token or a support for this platform to help people to reach out to humanity, do not hesitate. The series we just finished today is titled The Art and Beauty of Rebellion. The Art and Beauty of Rebellion. Before I go, I'll leave you with this quote. Here I say that behind every war you are the light of the world. Anywhere you go, illuminate them. You are the salt of the world, and also you are the very word of life. You should not look up to the hills for your help to come. You are God Himself, and you can do all things, not through Christ that strengthens you, but through your common sense and taking responsibility. Have a nice time and namaste.